the people who have seen their dreams come true are not the people who've had a fast track. They're the people who stayed the course until that dream caught up with reality. Hello everyone, my name is Naya and welcome to Let Me Just Say This. I hope you guys are doing so well. If you are new here, hello, hey. Welcome to the vibe, welcome to the tribe. Go ahead and subscribe. You are going to love it here. And if you're watching on the YouTube channel, as you should, hey twin, you see me, I see you. You look good, girl, me too. I hope you guys are doing so good this week. I know it's been a lot going on in the world and we're gonna touch on that briefly, but the overarching topic for today is big dreams, little pockets, okay? This one is for all my people who are in the grind. You're chasing a dream, you're chasing an aspiration, a career, a plan, but you have yet to see the tangible things, girl. Or you have yet to figure out how to make things happen for you. And so I'm in a grind like that, and I just wanted to talk about this. This has been something on my mind, but even more so because if you know, you know, I'm doing content creation full time now, and I'm working on 2 brands, and I'm doing all of these things, and baby, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just figuring it out, and I have big dreams in my pocket not matching. So we're gonna get on into that. If you're watching right now, my son, my cat, has officially entered the chat. He done climbed on the chair, girl. This is why I put him out, but he's disrupting. You're disrupting the vibes. And of course, you know I have to give a big shout out to our sponsors, Black Girl Vitamins and NordVPN. If you want to support the podcast, please support our sponsors. For Black Girl Vitamins, you can save 15% using our code LMJST15, and you can support the pod by shopping the link for NordVPN and purchasing your plan through that link. Everything will be below for you. We're getting into a lot today, child, so go ahead and grab your mug and fill it up with what you need, even if it's a little bit of alcohol, child, because I know we are collectively stressed. Go and get your mug, fill it with what you like. Today I have tea, and come on back so we can kiki. Can we collectively take one sip of tea real quick just to calm us down? Yes, needed that. Needed that. I previously had this episode planned for last week and I went to record it, but I was going through some things in my personal life that kind of prevented me from finishing that in a way that I felt was right to present to you guys. So we took a little breaky last week, but we're back this week and a lot has happened since I last sat down to record. A lot in the world. Oh my God, a ton in the world. It just feels like every day something else. And I've grappled with changing the topic of this episode. I've grappled with instead touching on what we're seeing going on with women, what we're seeing going on with the war, what we're seeing going on with the economy. There's so many things to be talked about as far as current events are concerned. But I recognize too that I want this to be an outlet for you guys, a separate space for you guys. We get enough of that. So I'm not going to talk too much on it. But I do want to just say this, okay? And I'm going to say this with conviction and the most disrespect that I have, okay? Any and everybody who voted for Donald Trump and who continues to support this oppressive regime, this regime full of DUI hires, child, there is a special place in hell for you. There is a special place. You are going to that fish fry. Bring extra grease, baby. Because you're going to fry. We will never forgive you. We'll never forgive you. And I'm not going to just give it up for blissful ignorance anymore. Oh my God, too many people are being impacted by people being blissfully ignorant about politics and voting for a lunatic, for a felon. Because you didn't know what the fuck you were talking about. All of us have to suffer. Boo, tomato. Okay, that's all I had to say about that. If you want to know my political stances, you can go and look on the TikTok and the Instagram. But listen, if you're watching, my fist is in the air, baby. I'm biggity black. I'm a woman, and I'm a feminist, and I'm liberal, and 1000% not fucking with anything going on right now. So yeah, moving along. The real crux of today's topic is big dreams, little pockets. And honey, I've entered this era of my life that I have a different understanding of financial stability because of my entire adult life. I was in a career. I had a career actually, like in a stable career too, where I made good money. I never had to worry about anything for real. And I could do a lot of amazing things. I spent 2025 traveling, really, like literally, I think I had 10 flights last year. One of them was international, the rest were mainly domestic. I had so much fun, but I was so miserable because I was working a job I hated. I was working a job I hated. And the reality is, I knew that the time was coming up for that job. I was like, I'm not going to be able to do this in a year. I knew that my circumstances with my career was going to change. And so I made a decision to really live it up while I had it. I was like, I'm going to take every trip. I'm going to go see every concert. I'm going to do everything I want to do right now because I don't know if I can do it later. And that has ushered me into a new era of my life where I am doing content creation full time and I have these big dreams. I have these big aspirations. And when I first started, I thought, bitch, are you chasing a pipe dream? I'm chasing a pipe dream, girl. Maybe I should hang it up and go back and get a job. But baby, I can't. And I recognize that I'm in a grind that so many people are afraid to be in or cannot be in. I can recognize that my financial circumstances still allow me to not have a job. So 10 out of 10 definitely understand the blessing that comes with being able to continue paying my bills and chase my dream. But a lot of people don't have that. A lot of people are chasing stability. And so they put their dreams and their aspirations on the back burner. And I think that eventually you come to realize that if you never chase your dream, if you never try, if there's never a day one for you, and it's always one day, you will never be able to achieve the life you truly want to live. And you'll never see God's plan fully come to fruition for you. And that leap or that step into uncertainty in the pursuit of a goal or a dream or an aspiration is extremely scary. And it doesn't always come by choice. Mine didn't come by choice. God knew what he was doing. God knew I was going to hold on to that job for so fucking long. I was probably going to overstay my welcome in a career and on a path that did not serve me because I was chasing stability, because I was chasing a check. Keep these lights on, keep this hair did. But I wasn't walking in my purpose. And now that I have found a new set of struggles. I found a new set of frustrations with wanting so much for a career as a content creator on both of my platforms, wanting to grow and really scale, not knowing how to do it, not knowing how to bring in more money, how to, get back to the standard of living that I was at before. And it's rough. And I think that's the thing that makes people go back to what they knew before, what was safe, what was the most stable thing, the most stable option. And let me just say this, I'm not going back. I'm not going back to the career fields I was in. I'm not going to just go get a job just because I have to do that shit. Listen, I can't. I cannot. And I think that's a common thing for people who are chasing a dream and an aspiration. Once you're doing it and you're in it, it's like, okay, this shit gotta work because I can't go back. We need to figure out how to scale this. We need to figure out how to monetize this. We need to figure out how to bring in this money. We need to figure out how to make my aspiration and my dream something that I can do and sustain me, And I understand the frustration with that, a lot of frustration. But my greater frustration always came from being in a place and working somewhere or doing something, and I knew I was wasting my time. I knew I was wasting my life, And so in the pursuit of like big dreams with little pockets, it's like, okay, I got little pockets now, but if I keep chasing my dream, the pockets gonna grow. The pockets are gonna grow, girl. And it takes a significant amount of time. That gap between your resources and what your aspiration or your dream can be vast. Sometimes it can be vast, and it can be really daunting to figure out how to close that. And one thing I will say about dream chasing and recognizing this gap in resources is that you have to become more resourceful. Like, you have to become more responsible and you have to become more resourceful. You start to look for solutions to things. When you're in a grind, you're not thinking about, okay, I want to achieve this thing, but I don't know how I'm going to get the funding, and focusing on the I don't know part, you are more so thinking, okay, I don't know how I'm going to get this funding, but I need to figure it out. What are the solutions to what I need to do? And I feel like that has been the most valuable part of this experience for me, because when I first started like doing content creation full time, mind you, y'all know I've been doing the podcast for a long time. I've been doing, well, not a long time, not like a decade, but I've been doing this podcast for 4 years. And it's been, at times slow motion, but still motion nonetheless. At times it's been like, oh, I'm on a run. Like it's happening for me. And I've had ebbs and flows of my time doing this. I still have moments where I feel like, have I plateaued? Have I stalled out? Is it time to let the podcast go? Do I keep going? I always have these thoughts. I always have these things, right? But I did not fully invest into this and buy into the idea of chasing my dreams of content creation and expanding on those dreams as well until I became a content creator full time. I didn't have to figure out as much when I only had this as something on the side, something like a hobby, something like not me dream chasing, but just doing something that I really hope pops off. I didn't have to go as hard and figure out the grind. I didn't have to be as hungry, but now, baby, I have to be hungrier. I have to be hungrier. I have to be more resourceful. I have to look for solutions, and I have to figure out, how do I close this gap? And I think that's the biggest conundrum with all of us. How do we chase our dreams and our aspirations, and we don't know how we're going to pay for things or how we're going to sustain ourselves or what's going to happen? When I think about success in chasing a dream or an aspiration, I think about our faves. Your favorite, most successful person is not a person who had things handed to them. They're likely a person who had to grind for years. Our faves are people who had a lot of cold winters, who had a lot of no's, a lot of rejection, a lot of self-doubt, a lot of moments of thinking, damn, I should just give up on this shit and go get a real job. Yeah, they had all of that and still managed to make it to where they are. And that like strength of perseverance and continuing and embracing the grind, embracing that season where you have to be resourceful in order to grow, where you have to find solutions in order to grow and chase your dream and walk in your purpose. Baby, embracing that season is profound. It's profound, and it's actually extremely necessary. I think about the Quinta Brunsons. I think about the Issa Raes. I think about the Beyoncés of the world, the Viola Davises of the world, the Michael B. Jordans of the world, who we see in all of this success and all this glory. But what we didn't see are the cold winters, the sleepless nights, the hungry nights, the times where they were thinking, damn, this isn't working out. I don't know if this is going to work, so maybe I should just quit. It's easier to quit than to continue on that path and allow your dream to catch up to your reality. And one of the things that I really love, a phrase that I really, really love, is that a dream is just a crazy ass delusion until it becomes your reality. A dream is just some silly, cringe delusion until it becomes your reality, until it works. It's crazy until it works. It's crazy until you realize you're the person that people are looking to. You're the person that brands want to talk to. You're the person who people look up to because they see how hard you've worked, how much time you put in, how you've sharpened your skills and grown your craft. Too many people give up because of that gap in resources, that big dream, little pockets mentality. Too many people give up on their aspirations because they don't see the tangibles. And I think that social media has conditioned us to believe that success and the tangibles of that are things that happen overnight. They don't happen overnight. This is years in the making. This is decades in the making of what goes into becoming. Just becoming who you are supposed to be, becoming and growing into the version of yourself that you are meant to be is years in the making. It's not an overnight shift. It's not an overnight change. It's not an overnight success. And it requires commitment and determination and discipline and a grind that's going to force you to really, really, really lock in and decide, okay, this is what I want to do. And if I have to do this struggling and still be happy, I'm going to do this struggling because I won't struggle forever. Okay. Or if I have to do this part-time, I have to go from my 9 to 5 to my 5 to 9 and do a full day of grinding so that I can get to where my 5 to 9 is my 9 to 5. Then that's what I'm going to do. And that is a time that I think too, that really just makes or breaks us. It's like, that's when you're sharpening your skills. That grind season is when you sharpen your skills. That's what's going to prepare you to know how to keep your success when you get it. Too many people want to skip over the grind season. They want overnight success. They want a quick tangible. They want an instant gratification. And then once they get it, don't know what to do with it because you didn't sit in your grind. You didn't sharpen your tools. You didn't put in the work to know how to value and how to keep it when you get it. And I think this season of my life is teaching me that because I know for a fact that there's so much more bigger things for me because I'm working for them, because I'm striving for them, because I'm making moves and I'm putting in effort and I'm putting in time and dedicating my life to these things. I know that, hey, I'm going to keep throwing shit out there and one day something's going to hit, whether it happens now, whether it happens 5 years from now, 2 years, 10 years from now. One day I'm going to look up and I'm going to thank myself for choosing day one instead of one day. No. Day one instead of one day. I wish more of us could chase our dreams and aspirations. I was thinking the other day back to my childhood and how when I was a kid, I wanted to be a political commentator. And I wanted to be basically a little Angela Rye. And I think about what if I had chosen to pursue that? What if I thought, actually, I can do this? Actually, this is what I'm going to dedicate my life to. What if the dreams that we had when we were kids, we actually tried to bring them to fruition? And we stuck with the grind and we did what we needed to do to actually live in our purpose and the desires and the aspirations that we truly have instead of having to do what we have to do. What if we did that? What if I could have been a baby Angela Rye? How different would my life have been? And I think about what deterred me from my dreams. I think about what deterred me from starting, what kept me from day one, what kept me from thinking positively about my ability to achieve my goals and my dreams. Oftentimes it's other people, but most of the time it's self-doubt. Most of the time, what keeps us from achieving our big dreams, yeah, it's the little pockets, but sometimes it's that little mentality too. Too often do we play ourselves small. You need to be thinking big. Yeah, you need to be thinking big. Stop playing yourself small. You're bigger than big. Why are you downplaying your abilities? Why are you downplaying your ability to achieve your goals? Why are you downplaying your ability to be successful, to be smart, okay? To really walk in your purpose? Why are you acting like you can never do that because it's you? Please. And I know that's easy to say because when you're in it, you be feeling like a loser. You be feeling like, damn, I'm such a fucking loser. Can I do this? Is this shit even really working? I felt that way. I have felt that way before within this past 6 months, or really 4. I've been doing like full-time content creation for real for like 4 months. I've only been monetized for like 2. And in the beginning, girl, I was like, I'm such a motherfucking loser. I'm just a loser bitch who had a career and that fell through. So now I have to start over and look at me chasing this pipe dream. I'm such a loser. I said those things to myself. And then I look up, I check my email now, and I'm looking at collaborations and brand deals. I check my social medias now, and I see people in my comments engaging in discourse, and I see the impact that my work has on other people, the impact that my content gives to other people, both on this platform and my lifestyle platform. I see a lot of tangibles, things that I didn't know, or rather, I didn't have the confidence in myself to believe were significant enough for me to continue chasing my dream. And I feel, hindsight, I feel very bad for how I treated myself in those moments, calling myself a loser and telling myself, yeah, bitch, just go get a job because you're going to flop. Why I talk to myself like that, baby, I think is a seed from the devil and is a seed that other people who have self-doubt and no confidence plant. they plant it in you. I understand the mental behind chasing a dream, not knowing how you're going to do it, not knowing if it's going to work, not knowing if you should keep going, wondering about the future. How am I going to pay for this? How am I going to take care of that? I have people who depend on me. I have people who look up to me. They don't want to see me be a failure. I don't want to embarrass myself. I don't want to put myself out there. I don't want to. I can't. Oh, 1000% I understand that. But baby, big dreams are big for a reason. And I'm a believer that God doesn't plant a dream or a vision or an aspiration in you that you can't shake, that seems too big, that seems too unattainable. God isn't going to plant that in you because you can't do it. God planted that in you because it's probably in your purpose and in your path. And it is on you to make a decision, to commit to that, to walk in that, to stand in who you are and walk in your purpose and walk in your dream and your aspiration and put in the work and see how God can multiply that. My God, today, the little pockets, but that big dream, baby, eventually those pockets grow, things multiply, things become more fruitful, and you learn and you sharpen yourself and you get better and better and better, and you continue to be consistent and continue to be persistent and oh my gosh, that is like the biggest thing that I could say to anybody right now, like me, who has this dream or has this aspiration. The only way to see it come into fruition is to do it. To do it and keep doing it even when you fail, keep doing it even when you feel bad, keep doing it even when you're sad, keep doing it even when you're unhappy, keep doing it even when you don't know what the future has to hold. Keep doing it even when the state of the world seems like it's crumbling, keep doing it. Keep doing it. I don't know who that was for, but I feel like it was also for me to remember. Keep going, keep doing it. Show up, continue showing up, and your big dreams, those crazy, unrealistic, delusional dreams are going to catch up to your reality, because the people who have seen their dreams come true are not the people who've had a fast track. They're the people who stayed the course until that dream caught up with reality. I don't know who needed that. And that really just flowed out of me. You know, I had this topic outlined, but this particular episode flowed out of me. And so I really hope that this reaches who needs it. I pray that this is an audio hug and a motivation for those who need it. And thank you guys for continuing to support me and uplift me and engage with me. If you want to follow and subscribe and do all of that on all the socials, everything will be linked below. If you want to learn more about my lifestyle content, that'll also be linked on my Comey below. And I love you guys. Hang in there, stay strong, and continue to take care of your mental health, but continue to strive for what you need to do in your life to walk in your purpose and keep yourself happy, regardless of what's going on in the world. And I know this is tough. I know this is hard. I need you to keep going. I need you to keep going. So, with all that being said, thank you guys for listening today. I cannot wait to see you guys in the next one next week. Promise. Mwah.